Yo, how's it going, man? Hope who's blessed. It's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live. Welcome into the live. Yes, so we've got a lot to talk about today. Hope everyone's blessed, having a good Sunday. Um, got a lot to chop up, got a lot to talk about. Um, yeah, a lot of news going on. Hope you're enjoying the summer. It was 32 degrees yesterday. It's about 27 today. See a little tan like, but that ain't even from here. That's from when I was in Gibraltar, Morocco, and all that. But yeah, let's see who's up in the building. Who's first in? Got Philip Answer. Big ups. Hope all's blessed. I know quite a few people are going to what's it, Cocoa White today. Um, yeah, and I think it was Matt's barbecue yesterday. So yeah, anyone who went there, yeah, let me know how it was. I know a couple of people told me they went there and that. So yeah, hope everyone's blessed and all's good. So yeah, let's get into it. So first things first. Let's make sure that everything is on. Yeah, I think it's all on. It's all on. It's all on. Let me just double check that I am live. Well, no, by switching over. Yeah. So it's all good. It's all active. So yeah, let's get into it. So first things first. Well, you see the title, sport and recreation. So we'll get into that. But first things first. Let's talk about last night. So last night, Birmingham show. I believe October Red was there at the World Resorts Arena, or is it the BP Pulse? It keeps changing all the time. You had Galao YAFAI versus Francisco Rodriguez for the WBC interim flyweight title. YAFAI coming off of his career best win against Sonny Edwards. Last time I was actually there in Birmingham for that fight. 1 second. Take this one. Yeah. So yeah, last time out. And then but then Francisco Rodriguez coming in, he's had ample amount of fights, over 40 fights, and had like 27 knockouts. It's a big puncher in his 36 wins, I believe. Been the distance with Junto Nakatani and Ioka. Only been stopped way years ago by Chocolatito, who we know is a future Hall of Famer for sure. Then, so yeah, coming to it, YAFAI was the favourite, but from the jump, Francisco Rodriguez from the first round rocked him, had him rocking and rolling. Thought he was going to drop him in the first round, but YAFAI showed some good powers of recovery, good survival instincts, balance, and a good chin. And throughout the fight, that's what it was. YAFAI was landing some boomers in there, but anything he did land wasn't really hurting or deterring Rodriguez at all. And Rodriguez, anytime he really landed and started putting them together, he was, YAFAI's legs were wobbling, he was rocking, rolling. Rodriguez was even using the Canelo uppercut, the dummy into the uppercut. I'd clocked that from the jump. The commentator spotted it after. He had a lot of good moves, vast wealth of experience in there. A few times I thought he was going to get YAFAI out of there. I was surprised he didn't drop a lot sooner. He finally got decked in the 12th round, and it was a very punishing and grueling fight. Both guys were cut, but yeah, even the doctor even looked at both of them. The crowd was like, "Come on, you got to let this go." But yeah, YAFAI, he cannot afford to keep fighting like that. He's fought like that his whole career, really, but he kind of just walks through people's punches and just sort of wears them out, and it's too physical for them. But he finally met a man who was, stronger than him and was able to hit harder. And the persistence broke YAFAI's resistance down, but it didn't fully break it, but it did drop him. YAFAI Some people thought that the corner could have threw the towel in, pulled him in the corner and stuff like that. But yeah, he showed a lot of guts. He'll learn a lot, but you'll shorten your career fighting like that, taking that many punches. He took a record. He took the record amount of punches because Francisco Rodriguez landed a record number of punches for a flyweight contest, and that was 575 punches. So YAFAI got hit with 575 punches in 36 minutes. Just imagine that. That's crazy. Shout out O'Neal Thomas. If YAFAI carries on fighting like that, he might need to give it up. Yeah, he's going to need to work on his defense, man. I'm surprised for an Olympic gold medalist, but even in the Olympics, he was kind of just marching forward and just overwhelming guys. He wasn't really thinking about defense like that. He was just kind of, he fought the same. So it wasn't a traditional Olympic style way of winning a medal. He was very brute force-ish with it, just, marauding work rate and stuff like that. You heard Sonny Edwards alluding to Rodriguez possibly using performance-enhancing substances, saying, oh, well, he's wearing the no boxing, no life. He's Mexican. How's he keeping his work rate up and the power? But it was rounds he took off. It was times you saw him getting, showing fatigue. But then he got his second win and started putting bursts together. So yeah, if he was hitting with the same amount of power in the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th as he was in the first round, he would have knocked YAFAI spark out. But he did see a waver, but he was able to put the punches together in combinations. So yeah, that wasn't very savoury, I don't think. But yeah, Philip, it felt like he was a novice in there. Wouldn't say that a novice, but the defense was very lacking. He was doing all right offensively, but it just wasn't even phasing Rodriguez, unfortunately. So when you're not phasing a man and your style is about brute force and marauding and overwhelming a man, and you're getting hit and rocked and rolled and the big body shots coming in, you know what I mean? Yeah. Ooh, it was a lot. That was a tough slog and a very long night. So yeah, I hope your fight got checked out afterwards, because taking 575 punches to your anatomy is not a good look. Do you know what I mean? Conor Walker got a 7th round knockout, big left hook over Liam Taylor. Yeah, Liam Taylor. Conor Walker does what Conor Walker does. Puts the pressure on. He was landing some good jabs in there, pressing Taylor back, busted his nose up from early doors, busted up his face. Taylor was landing some good shots, but it was always like he was fighting uphill, an uphill struggle. He's just like he's trying to win the battle, but he wasn't even really winning the battle too much. But they had it close, a lot of the cards. But the war, you could see it was going one way. He was getting broken down. He was losing his shape. And then as he's trying to, fight Conor off, Walker's hit him with the left hook. Boom, he's gone down, and he stayed down on all fours. Do you know what I mean, for the 10 count? So Conor Walker retains his British welterweight championship. He's now saying, show me the money. He's campaigning out to Turkey Al Sheikh. He wants to get on Riyadh season. Eddie Hearn was, pitching for him as well, saying, hey, Turkey, you're saying you don't want no Mickey Mouse fights, and you want 18-foot rings, and man, you want to come in and fight. Well, this is your guy. And to be fair, Conor Walker, he's a man who loves a 18 by 18. He's a man who he gets stuck in. Every time I've gone to watch Conor Walker, he's giving value for money. He don't cheat the punters. He's not trying to nick a living. He's getting in there and he's having it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Very, very vicious man in there. When he gets hit, he's smiling. He's a man who likes a dust up. I'll tell you that much. Also, shout out to Hamza Udin. Got a 7th round stoppage over his opponent. Had him sort of running around. Some people saying, a bit premature, but he was putting the combination together in rounds before that. Could the guy have gone on? Maybe, but yeah, Hamza Udin got the job done. That's 5-0, 2 stoppages. You had Tia, Mia, I can't pronounce Maita, her surname, knocked out her opponent straight. Great debut, dropped her as she got up. Boom, 1-2. Like kind of like how Anthony Joshua just dealt with Ngannou. Obviously didn't flatten her, but she put her down heavy. Ref knew to wave it off because that was vicious. So yeah, she's looking like the goods. So shout out to her. Um, who else on the card? Yeah, Pat Brown. He got a knockout. Dealt with his guy seemingly easy, relatively easy, and he's going to be back out soon. So yeah. Other news. Oh yeah, what's his name? Jahai Tucker. He beat Lorenzo Simpson on points last night on the top rank card. So that was that. I didn't really take note of any of the other fights. Oh, it was Napper's fighter. He won on. Oh, I forgot how he won. I think he won on points as well. Neil Nicky, Meal Nicky, something like that. Um, do, 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 do. Yes, I've got some news here. So David Benavidez is set to defend his um, WBC light heavyweight title in either Las Vegas or Dallas versus Callum Smith in October. Samson Lukowicz, who is David Benavidez' manager, said that it'll be is targeting in those locations, and is now for Eddie Hearn to accept. But it seems like those negotiations are looking very positive, and is most likely to happen. I know there was talks of Callum Smith versus Yard, but it seems Benavidez' team is probably making an offer, so that will probably land up on PBC. That will go on like what's it, Amazon Prime, that kind of stuff. Talking about PBC, um, before we do that, sorry. Yeah, so got some other news so regarding PBC top rank, since we were talking about those companies. Um, Top rank, they still have no media rights deal in place to replace their ESPN deal. Their deal will the contract will run out on July 26th, so they've got just over a month left. And their last show will be on July 26th, featuring Xander Zayas as the headliner. The Top Rank executives are scrambling as potential layoffs loom large if Top Rank cannot secure a top-level TV or streaming deal. You see what I'm saying? This is deep because people are talking about, Boxer losing their Sky deal and what might happen with their fighters, other promoters looming, hawking um, to try and take some of their, the name brand guys. But then you've got um, Top Rank now, Bob Arum. He's what, 93, 93 or 94? I think he's like 93 years old. Might even be 94. But yeah, he's who's gonna take over Top Rank once he leaves? Or maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he's kind of thinking he's done now. I don't know if he's looking to pass it on to a son, a grandson, a great grandson, a nephew, or something like that. I don't know. So fighters could be, you know, going elsewhere, but a lot of them are going to be American based, Eastern European based, but a lot of American based ones. So what they're going to do, they're going to go to Golden Boy, they're going to go to PBC, Al Heyman, but I've heard Al Heyman's not even in the best of health, so I'm not even sure how long that PBC thing really. But while Top Rank's last show is on ESPN on July 26th, it looks like the network isn't quite done with broadcasting boxing fights just yet. ESPN has had preliminary discussions about possibly bringing Al Heyman's Premier Boxing Champions PBC to the networks. So ESPN, if they don't renew with Top Rank, they're having talks with PBC to probably bring them to it. But it's surprising though, because Top Rank, they always give you good cards. They give you good cards, value for money. They're not charging you pay-per-views and stuff like that. I think Bob Arum put on the best shows last year overall. So that would be quite a shock. But maybe Bob might be looking for another network. Top Rank might be looking for another network. So let us know your thoughts. Where do you think Top Rank's going to end up? Do you think they're going to somehow get finalize a last minute deal or somehow come to some sort of agreement with ESPN to stay on? Or do you think they're going to move to another network? If so, where? Do you think some of their fighters, top ranked fighters, will leave? If so, who do you think, which fighters, and where do you think they will be going possibly? Let me know. Oh, 1 second. Yeah. And then do you think that PBC will go with ESPN? How do you think that's gonna go? And where do you think also Boxer will what do you think will happen with him? Because we're still waiting for an announcement from them. Um, yeah, and talking about that actually, talking about that, October Red, she had a talk with Frank Smith recently about Boxer on Sky Sports, and if he's looking, sorry, at any of the fighters. Obviously, he said I can't say it in that way she said it, but there is fighters who he has had an interest in the past, i.e., Ben Whitaker. Everyone knows that Eddie Hearn was pitching, but he went with Boxer in the end, just like Fraser Clark, because the money was they they overpaid for them. So yeah, but he's looking at that. He likes the Callum Simpson story. Makes sense. He's a big ticket seller, organic ticket seller. Reminds me of like a Ricky Hatton, Josh Warrington. Remember, Josh Warrington was with Matchroom. Then Eddie wasn't really feeling him. Then Josh Warrington went off to Queensbury, I believe, and he started garnering all this, local attention in Leeds and big tickets, big tickets, big tickets, big tickets. And then he's like, rah. Got him back. And that's when, was it Leeds United or all that type of stuff. So he got him stadium fights and that kind of stuff. And you've seen Josh Warren, big seller. But Callum Simpson seems to be doing that. He's at the stadium in his local football stadium in Barnsley, and that sold very well. So yeah, but I never heard Fraser Clark's name. I like Tyler Denny, but I didn't hear his name. You got Caroline Dubois, didn't hear hers, but I can imagine someone like Jake Paul would take her in a heartbeat. Um, Lauren Price, Carrie Starton. Lauren Price will probably go, I don't know, MVP as well. Um, yeah, they said about because and Frank Smith also made it clear that Chris Eubank Jr. is signed to the Saudis, so he's just doing some kind of partnership thing with Boxer, but he's not signed to them. He's with the Saudis, so that's interesting. And Eubank Jr. is not going to let Ben Shalom get a deal off the back of his name unless he's getting some major cut, which makes sense. And even he was saying someone like Ben Whitaker, if he's hearing someone like Boxer going to be talking with Sky like, yeah, well, we've got Ben Whitaker. Ben Whitaker going to think, hold on, but I'm the enterprise. I'm the commodity here. That's like you're getting your deal off on the back of my name. I want some of that deal, like some Dragon's Den business. So it's interesting that kind of scenario there. Boxer to TNT Sports, yeah, could do because Frank Warren left TNT, and I didn't hear TNT saying they don't want to do boxing or they've had enough of boxing. So yeah, it makes sense. On Thursday we had Brian Norman Jr. fight in Japan on Thursday against Mishiro Sasaki. Sorry, Jin Sasaki. In the fifth round, dropped him twice in the first. This guy was not moving his head. I don't know, he thought he could be a tough guy because he's a big puncher on paper. And yeah, he ended up getting, as he threw a punch, Brian Norman parried it down, and then big left hook, loopy left hook, bam, iced him, flat on his back, iced. Ref was counting for a bit. I don't know why he was counting, but then realised he's iced. He was brevelled, not even toasted. He's brevelled, and also I heard post like a couple of days later or something. It's come out that Jin does not remember anything from the past 6 weeks. He can't remember anything from the past 6 weeks. So, man knocked him for six, literally. Like, man took his memory for the past 6 weeks. He doesn't remember being in a fight. He doesn't remember having a fight. Yeah, that's mad. That's absolutely mad. But yeah, Brian Norman Jr. retains his WBO welterweight championship. We're talking about him fighting Mario Barrios next. Boots Ennis has moved up, so he's relinquished his two belts. Could Conor Benn come down? Is he looking to fight Mario Barrios or maybe Brian Norman Jr.? Brian Norman went over there. They thought they was going to get the belt for Brian. They thought he was probably a slim picking, easy cherry pickings. And he's knocked out their guy easy and very violently in a knockout of the year contender, in my opinion, and quite a few people's opinions. So what did you think about that? Who would you like to see Brian Norman fight next? I know he was he had some choice words for Jaron Ennis after the fight. He said, I wish I had a certain fight coming up, but they heard the B Norman storm was coming, and you know what happens when that storm comes? They grab their boots and run. Oh yeah. He's got some lyrics, but it's good to see he's talking and he's getting himself out there. And his dad's taking a step back because his dad was moving like Floyd Schofield's dad for a while, and maybe someone's had a word but he's now, you don't hear nothing from his dad. Now Brian Jr. is doing the talking and with his fist and the mouthpiece, so he's got the mouthpiece game. So yeah, man, he can fight his own battles and do his own thing. So it's good to see. Oh yeah, also when I was talking about that David Benavidez Callum Smith fight, that's a very good fight. I wanted that fight from the super middleweight days, but I felt that maybe Callum wasn't really wanting it like that. But that'll be a good fight, especially at light heavy. Both of them can't say that they're struggling with the weight and all that, so that'll be a good fight. Who you got winning that fight? Also, sorry, shout out Black Son of Krypton. Sorry, there's your other comment. 1 second. Norman getting ducked like he ducked Boots. Yeah, but now he's claiming Boots is ducking him, but Boots has already said he's moving up before the fight. So yeah, he's a bit late with that one. He's a bit late with that one, but it was good bars, but a bit late with the saying man's running from the storm. We got Bakram Milakuziev versus Josh Kelly in talks for the IBF light middleweight titles, or they call it super welterweight or junior middleweight. Oh, mate. Title. Murtazaliev and Kelly are in talks to fight later this year for the IBF super welterweight title. I call it light middle. With it potentially landing on the undercard of Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford in that mad stadium. So yeah, that'd be a good fight. How do you see that going? Murtazaliev, in my opinion, very very serious guy. He mashes work, and I think it'd be another sort of David Avenetian style, even though he doesn't fight quite like David Avenetian. But yeah, I think he could end up stopping Josh Kelly. But Josh Kelly's looking pumped and looking good, but I don't think his punches will really affect Murtazaliev, and I think Murtazaliev background will deal with him. But good fight though, and he deserves the world title shot. Josh Kelly, he's been on a run. Yeah, but let's get into the main topic of this of what show title's called. So first things first, let's go with sport before we get to the recreation. So yeah, Jaime Munguia, his B samples come back. I reported about it on the Fight Fan TV Live Instagram page. Make sure you follow the Instagram page, also TikTok as well. Um, Fight Fan TV Live. So I said, yeah, Jaime Munguia, his B samples now returned um, for the adverse finding of exogenous origin of testosterone um, on Friday. Yeah, not Friday, not 2 days ago, but last week, Friday, on the, what date would that have been? That would have been on Friday the 13th. Oh, not a lucky day. Well, not a lucky day, Jaime. Um, yeah, Munguia now faces disciplinary charges from the British Boxing Board of Control and could see his victory in May, the rematch against Bruno Saras, overturned to a no contest. Jaime has released a follow-up statement via his team, which can be seen, which I will read to you. So here it is. He says, "Today we can confirm that Jaime." Boy, this is on behalf of his team. So here we go. Today we can confirm that Jaime Munguia's B sample has been opened and analysed. Consistent with the A sample was also positive. Jaime was present in Utah for the opening of the B sample, demonstrating his respect for the process and his full commitment to transparency and cooperation at every step. We want to reiterate that this outcome does not change our position. Jaime did not knowingly or intentionally ingest any banned substance. We remain steadfast in the belief that this result was caused by contamination. Yeah, old chestnut. Um, and we are continuing to take every possible step to identify the source. At this stage, we are still awaiting clarification from specialists regarding the specific levels detected in the samples. As the next step, our team is submitting a list of all supplements and products Jaime used to the WADA accredited laboratory for testing. They do. Oh, this is another one we're doing. The other, the other company. Um, this is critical in helping determine how the substance may have entered his system and ensuring the integrity of the review. Okay. So what's your thoughts on that?
Guilty. Count 11. Guilty.
Sorry. And I went on his page earlier, and he had some even more stuff. Throughout my boxing career, I've undergone numerous anti-doping tests and have never tested positive. I was tested twice during the training camp, and both results came back negative, which is why receiving this notification of adverse findings has been a complete surprise to me. Several experts have explained that there are multiple ways contamination can occur, and I'm fully willing to undergo any retroactive, current or future testing to demonstrate that I have always been a clean athlete, and I will not make any further comments on this matter until the process concluded with. Oh, that was where his B sample thing. Then he came out with the next statement. Oh, then he had his team, and oh, he's just going on and on. This guy, yeah, he's just going on and on. Yeah, you're busted, man. You're busted. So yeah, he's gonna get a suspension. How long it's gonna be, I don't know. Could be 6 months. Some people screaming lifetime ban. I don't know. That's not gonna happen. Not for that. Um, but yeah, he's got a testosterone, getting more testosterone boosted, stronger. Because he got knocked out last time, so that shows mentally he was mentally fragile because he got knocked out by a non-puncher. Remember, this guy Bruno Saras, in the trade, you'd make little comments about someone like him, like he couldn't punch a hole through a wet Rizzler sheet and stuff like that, couldn't crack an egg. Let's get this. I remember he only had a handful of knockouts, the Frenchman. 26 wins, 5 knockouts, 2 draws. It was unbeaten until that rematch, but that's going to get taken off. So it'll be still 26 wins, 2 draws, which is only a 19% knockout ratio, very low. So you're getting knocked out by a man, 26 victories, 5 knockouts. So basically, 5 knockouts in 29 fights. Come on, man. So that's mentally, he's mentally fragile. That's broken him. That's really affected him and played with his mind, and it's emotionally damaged him, and psychologically, why he's probably felt that he's needed an edge or he's needed to do something to get the upper hand, um, which is a shame. Skyline, the editor, big up. Having seen yesterday's card, Matchroom are seriously lacking in their roster. They are very thin and they need to take advantage and raid Ben Shalom's stable and take away the good crop of fighters. I wouldn't say thin. I wouldn't say thin. Obviously, they're looking for the next pay-per-view star. That was supposed to be Conor Ben. Probably still could be. AJ's obviously at the tail end. But remember, when you're dealing with these shows in, like, say, the Midlands, remember, the Midlands is just up and coming now, resurging back into boxing. So when they do the Birmingham shows, just like when Boxer do in Birmingham, which has only been going on for about, the past year and a bit, year and a half or something, they're usually using local fighters because those fighters don't really get shine and get to sell their tickets properly in a proper arena. They used to have not the MEN, I forgot what the arena was called. Weren't the MEN? NEC. It was the NEC back in the day. They used to use. But yes, so they're using a lot of local fighters. But where you would have a point is when you're talking about raiding, maybe you would want to, for a show like that, you'd want to raid the Birmingham crop. Because to be fair, when it comes to the Midlands, Ben Shalom has the best set of fighters out of everyone. He's got, when it comes to the Midlands, he's got better fighters than Matchroom, Queensbury, Wasserman. He's got the best Midlands fighters. When you talk about, if you're talking about putting on a card of Midlands, talent, Ben Shalom has the biggest names, I would say. Where so you'd have you got Fraser Clark, you got Ben Whitaker, obviously, So when it comes to the Midlands, he's probably so if you're looking to do the raid, you probably want to grab them two, and that'll definitely buff up your card. GBM Sports, they've got Shakan Pitters, even though he's fighting in Hull, but providing he wins the European title, that'd be another DAZN show on in Birmingham, I imagine, and they'll get him probably defending out in Birmingham in that BP Pulse. So that's another Birmingham fighter, but he's with GBM Sports. But I'd say only for the Midlands, really, if you're saying looking thin. But when it comes to the women, they've got enough women. And when you're thinking about someone like Caroline Dubois or Lauren Price, in my opinion, I think they would more likely and prefer to go to the likes of MVP if they was to defect and go somewhere else. That's just my opinion on that. But let me know your thoughts, people. Do you agree with myself? What do you think about Skyline Editor's comment, which is a very good comment? So thank you very much. Conor Walker's a good fighter. He sells a lot of tickets. Hamza Udin, he's got the South Asian first Bengali fighter. He's looking to be the first Bengali British champion or world champion. Normally, Pakistan, when you're talking about the Asian man, then it's a Pakistan man who have really been doing the bits. India, they've had a couple of fighters, but not really they really got too far like that. Obviously, Prince Patel would say otherwise, but we're talking, they ain't really, got to the heights, do you know what I mean, on TV and stuff like that, and world champion official and all that kind of stuff. And then apart from that, it's really been the Arabs, where people have sort of lumbered them as Asian fighters, but they're not. When you talk about Prince Nassim, you're talking about Kid Galahad, you're talking about the YAFAI brothers, there's 3 of them. They're all Arab and they're all Yemeni. They're all from Yemen, the same country in Arabia, surprisingly enough. Funny, even Barry Jones, the former world champion, is quarter Yemeni. His granddad is from Yemen, even though he's a white man. But yeah, he's actually quarter Arab, surprisingly. So, yeah, so you didn't know that, but yeah, as I said, I'll get him on the neutral corner to tell all. So yeah, um, and then so that's the sport, and then recreation. One second. And then yeah, another news. I think I broke that one early. Broke that one probably about Tuesday or something. That the coach and manager of Terry Harper, who's also trained the likes of Jamie McDonnell, Maxie Hughes, who got a good win recently, Jason Cunningham, Steffi Ball. He's a former pro as well. He was like a sort of journeymanish type guy. His name's Andrew Bullcroft. He has been convicted. He's been found guilty of supplying Class A conspiracy to supply cocaine. Um, he's been remanded in custody since February 28th, when he was convicted by the jury at Sheffield Crown Court. A former boxer turned trainer, manager, and promoter. Bull's stable has included champions at British, European, and world level. He's 48 years old, from Doncaster, and he'll be sentenced along with his co-defendant, Benjamin Williams, at the same court on 26th of August. He is best known for guiding the career of three-weight world champion Terry Harper, as well as several other Doncaster-based fighters who have competed at international level. Bullcross trial heard how he used EncroChat, encrypted phone network, to buy significant amounts of cocaine under the pseudonym Yummy Cub. These are conversations where Yummy Cub speaks to the McAllisters or an associate of them and is inquiring about buying kilos of cocaine at around £35,000 a go. Mr. Ponnier told the court, according to the sentencing counsel for England and Wales, the sentencing range for conspiracy to supply Class A ranges from a high-level community order to 16 years in prison. Now, I don't think he's going to get community service, but I don't think he's also going to get 16 years, to be fair. But yeah, British Boxing Board of Control have also said they will review his license as a manager and, his licenses with the board, his various licenses with the board, after his sentencing, etc., or when he comes out. But who knows? Say he gets, I don't know, 10 years. He'll probably have to do 2/3 of that. So be out in 7. He'd be, 55 then? Do you know what I mean? We could still be a trainer, I guess. So, yeah, interesting times there. So that's sport and recreation. There's been other fighters in the past who've, got involved in the underworld whilst involved in boxing. We won't name one in particular, but yeah, I remember there was a fighter back in the day called Steve O'Meara. He was a Southern Area champion, doing very well. I remember he beat my friend Hollywood Josh Jack Povey in the amateurs. He stopped. What did he knock out? Yeah, he basically stopped my friend Nathan Wees as well for the Southern Area title. Yeah, good fighter. Yeah, I remember he got quite a big sentence. He should be out now, because this was time ago. He'd probably been out for about 3-4 years by now. But yeah, there's been other people. There's someone I remember in the comments. Sorry, let me read some comments. Someone was like, "Oh yeah, I'm really surprised by this Sandman boxing." Someone was like, "Even coaches are trapping." Shake my head. But then there was someone on one of my other platforms. They said they knew about this. Sorry about that. 1 second. They knew about it, and I was like, "Rah." I think he's from up that way. Yeah, I'm not going to say his name, but he goes, "I'm from Yorkshire originally, and know man in the Barnsley, Doncaster areas, and it's common knowledge over there that Steffi has been juggling work for years, bro." I was like, "Wowzers, really?" He's like, yeah, man, he's been moving bits from time. For those in the know, brother. I was like, yikes. And then so another person was like, sounds like he upset the wrong people. And then there was someone was like, it's peak for him. You wouldn't think he was like that, not knowing, looking from the outside. He looks like a respectable pillar of his community and boxing. But it's life. Who am I to judge? I mean, Black Sun Kryptonite trapping ain't dead. Wait, what did Jeezy say? Was it trap or die or something like that? But man. But hey, let me not talk too much because you got these bloggers now. You got these YouTube man saying, "Oh, if you're talking about street stuff, you're snitching." Well, this is public information. I'm not gone surfing for this. This is public information. But some of these podcasts are saying if you was part of that life or even a civilian, I'm like, so what, was Trevor McDonald a civilian? Big up my boy, Miniature, aka By Nature. So yeah, I'm just giving you some of the reels. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, just news dropped earlier. Be sure to subscribe to Fight Fan TV Live, guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel on here now. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button inside. Hit the like button. Come over to the YouTube and hit the like button. But yeah, news just in of that I've dropped. Alex Krashuk has announced that he has parted ways with Alexander Usyk ahead of his Daniel Dubois rematch set for July 19th. Krashuk has promoted and managed Usyk since 2013. And 2013 is when Usyk made his debut. So I guess he's been promoting him since the beginning of his pro career. He's Ukrainian as well. And he has the promotional company, K2 Promotions. So, yeah, and Edges Klimas, he was his manager. But I think Alex Krashuk and Edges Klimas have both been kind of joint managing, promoting Usyk together, Alexander Usyk together. I'm not sure when he just came in, but I think probably around the same sort of time. So that's very shocking. But Usyk's what, 37 years old now, 38 years old, pushing, or might be even already now. How old is he actually? Let me double check. He might be 38. Let me check. Yeah, he's 38. So Usyk's 38 years old. They've been together, 12 years. So when Usyk was 26, turned pro. Yeah. But yeah, he's 38 years old. Usyk said on record he probably wants 3 more fights, or this might be his last fight. He might be his last one. Might have one more after this. Might have just 2 more after Dubois. So 3 fights left. So I know that Usyk has his own promotional company, Usyka 17 Promotions. So he's probably just wanting to get the full revenue and the full money and probably put his promotional company in with the Riyadh Season Saudi thing, rather than have an extra middleman in K2. So it's the retirement fund season. A lot of fighters do this towards the tail end of their career. Done good business, but it's just time he does his own thing now. So I remember someone saying to me when I dropped this, and they was like, "Oh, well, Usyk ain't really needed Edges Klimas and Alex Krashuk for the past 5 years. He ain't needed a promoter or a manager for the past 5 years. A lot of hangers on." I was like, I wouldn't call him hangers on, because say the past 5 years, he got that AJ fight in 2021. That was 4 years ago. He wouldn't have got that fight without them, man. So he has needed them for the past 5 years at least. Then the rematch, obviously the rematch, he was going to get that anyway. And then he was with them. I'm sure Edges and Alex, they were really pushing hard, and Alex is a good talker, very charming, and he does talk very well, because he talks obviously better English than Usyk. I managed to get him the Fury fights. Do you know what I mean? And he's earned some serious wedge. Usyk, money's probably wildest dream, some mad money, hundreds, well over 100 million. I saw he was on some list. he's made some mad money and he's getting some serious bread this time around as well. So, but hey, all good things come to an end. The way it sounded, they say parted ways, so it doesn't sound like a bitter, angry thing. Hopefully they're still friends, and hopefully we do see Alex still at the fight week because I'd like to talk to him. But he has got other fighters like Bakram Murtazaliev. Funny enough, I'm just talking about him there. He had Lomachenko, but Lomachenko's retired now. Um, then he's got a couple of other fighters. Um, he might still have Daniel Lapin actually. Um, let me see. Do, 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 do. Oh, oh. Let me double check. Alex, who's he got? See who's got in the box. So yeah, but it still says he's got Usyk on there, but yeah, that's done. He's got a guy who's 28 years old, 7-0, Yaroslav Kartsis, uh, super lightweight, which is like a light welterweight Ukrainian guy. And he's got a 23-year-old who's 19-0, who's a 154 pounder, super welterweight, light middleweight, called Vasil Sebotari. He's from Moldova. Um, yeah, he's 19-0, 9 knockouts. Um, okay, interesting. So yeah, he's got a couple fighters still on the books and that. And he promoted he's promoted the first Daniel Dubois fight, which I was at in Wrocław, some people would say Wrocław, but it's Wrocław in Poland, which I was at. So hopefully I could be at this rematch as well. Um, yeah, one sec. So Skyline, the editor, the Bengalis just had their first Southern Area champion last week in York Hall, a fighter by the name of Numan Hussein. So they are making strides in boxing. Yeah, well then, he can't. Hamza Udin was never going to be a Southern Area champion, but he can still become the first Bengali. What's it? Central Area um, or Midlands champion, isn't it? Yeah, Midlands area champion. So yeah, he can still be on that, and then it's a race to become English and British between the two, eh? Um, so that's interesting. Then Skyliner, through your interviews, I found about Hamza Udin. The kid got exciting, TV friendly style. Yeah, man. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I'll be looking forward to talking to him more in future. Good kid, him. I like his style from his debut. Very impressed by him. So yeah, he's got some moves, man. He's got some moves. Definitely influenced by Prince Nassim Mohammed. Um, but yeah, he's got the moves, man. He's got the moves, and he's now being trained by his dad. I see, because he was being trained by Stephen Smith, Swifty, one of the Smith brothers, the one who's my age, because Paul Smith's the oldest, then Stephen Smith is my age, and then it's Liam Smith, and then Callum Smith is the youngest. But Paul Smith's got a son in the amateurs, um, who's one to look out for. Paul was telling me, and I've been keeping an eye on him. He's looking good. So there's going to be another Smith coming through in the next few years. He'll probably get signed um, by Matchroom or Queensbury, but a big promoter, one of the two. So yeah, uh, I think Dubois is going to KO Usyk. I know it's a wild take. It's not a wild take, you know. Quite a lot of people have been saying this. Quite a few people believe that Dubois is going to get him. That it's the right time, timing, age, momentum. Daniel's now, found himself, and the Don Charles and all that. Even though Don Charles training for the first fight, but he didn't really have. He only had a few weeks' notice and stuff like. It weren't really a big camp like that. Um, so yeah, Caroline believes Daniel's going to win. Obviously, she would say that, but he's her brother. But quite a few people in the trader say they think Daniel's going to do it. Um, I think he can do it as well. I thought he did it the last time when I was in Poland with that body shot. It looked legal to me where I was. I was near close enough to the ring. And the Ukrainians and the Polish lot, it was like, yeah, he needs to get out. It was legal. Um, So yeah, there you have it. But yeah, that's all the news for now. Hopefully, I might do one next week if there's more news or whatever. There's a couple of good shows next week, small hall shows. It's TM14 and Nielsen's boxing. You've got Joel Kaduya. You've got Daniel Francis versus Joel Kaduya. Daniel Francis is defending his Southern Area Welterweight Championship, and also I believe that is it the English titles on the line or something like that as well. And then you got Lucas Rohrig on the card, and then also you've got a Frank Warren. But that one's on the Saturday. That Nielsen's boxing and TM14, and on the Saturday. So on the Friday, you've got a Frank Warren. It's like academy show, and you've got Elliot Massey. You've got Courtney Bennett back out. You've got Zach Chelly on the card. So yeah, good stuff. I know Yusuf Kamari defended his English title last night and won the final eliminator for the British. So well done to Yusuf Kamari. And yeah, so yeah, there's a couple small shows. I would try and get down there, but I think I'm busy. I'll ask Lex if he can get down there. If not, I'll just try and catch up with some of the guys afterwards. Hopefully get another episode. Check out the latest episode of the Neutral Corner with Lee Cutler, the former Southern Area English and WBC international light middleweight champion. But yeah, hopefully get another episode soon. Hopefully before fight week of Dubois Usyk. Probably get someone who's been in the camp with Dubois. Not necessarily my boy Eddie. Might get him in, but I'm thinking of someone else in mind as well. Get some hear a new bit of a different perspective. So yeah, and there you have it. Until next time, it's Danny Glover from Fight Fan TV Live. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know where it is. Ha ha. You know the set.